B-BBEE efforts are failing women in rural areas. That's a message from Gloria Serobe, the CEO of Wiphold. She cites dysfunctional municipalities and the lack of security of tenure as hindrances to the empowerment of black women. They're also crippling rural development, she says. She's joining us now live to talk more about her views. Ms. Serobe, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time on this Friday afternoon. I understand you are in a board meeting, but you've taken a bit of time to talk to us. We appreciate it. Of the factors that you've cited in the article that I've read, where you are quoted around the issue of rural development and how it's affecting women, you've mentioned our patriarchal culture as one, dysfunctional municipalities, and we know how they are dysfunctional, red tape and lack of security of tenure that are hindering their empowerment. If you had to choose the one that is the most critical one, which one would it be?
They are all critical, Dan. Good afternoon. Sure, they are all very, very tough because let me just say that then the exclusion of the rural community from the economy mainstream, which is really almost 38% of the country, was legislated by the previous government. And take it what you want to take away from them, they were very good at monitoring that exclusion does happen perfectly, and they did. So the rural areas, just by its nature, you need really heavy lifting to get them back into the economic system. So why I'm saying all of these things are very important is because whether it is the infrastructure that makes it difficult or the mindset of these leaders in these areas makes it difficult, to the issues of inheritance and leaving girls out, it's all together. It just makes it very, very difficult. Then the distances to get to where you should get to if you have to do all the regulatory things and compliance and so on, very difficult. I don't know which part of the country where it is correct to have to travel like 80 kilometers of gravel road, not waterproof, on these big rivers with no bridges. I'm not sure what are we saying to these communities, because even the most eager of these entrepreneurs, it is very difficult. The cost to get into the system for them is very, very unfair compared to the urban areas which have got infrastructure and so on. So I'm struggling to say which one is more important than which one. All of them are a problem.
Yeah, I guess you're quite right. I mean, I was just trying to see if you look at the balance of the situation, what would be the main cause of all of them for this ongoing disempowerment of rural women, in particular black women in our country, because we are told about the importance of land, for example, and we know that women empowerment is a good driver of economic growth, therefore a creator of job opportunities.
I think this infrastructure, then maybe then if you are forcing me to choose, I have to choose that one because it disempowers in all fronts. The children can't go to school when it rains because they can cross these rivers. Those who have cars can keep the car for more than 5 years like everybody else. By 3 years it's finished. And then this whole thing of lack of security of tenure is just amazing. It is not possible that people have to live in their house and the land that they don't own, they can't even use it for security when they do need it. So I would maybe take those and say those are really hard, very hard, and we know they were deliberately designed that way. And so the drastic measures that have got to be taken have got to take into account that those were drastic legislations, and we are all aware of them. And so while we're having all these debates now about which plan works, which program works, we must in the meantime help assist these people to get into the mainstream economy. That's really my bugbear here.
So you've got the policy in place, you've got legislation in place. Just the other day we were talking about the latest employment equity report still showing that the topmost positions in South African organizations, corporate, still dominated by white males, and after so many years. But when you've got the BEE policy, but you also have financial instruments which are supposed to assist, and banks, for example, are supposed to assist. But rural women are at a huge disadvantage. I mean, how can that be changed? What are your thoughts?
What it means is that while the bigger things are being looked at, as in making sure that titles and all that, there has to be innovation in between. As I said, the banks, of course, they have to comply with all manner of regulations. But you find also in there that you've got the National Credit Act that says this side, don't fund people who have nothing because you are creating a bigger problem. On the other hand, these people have got something. It has got to be described for what it is. I always give an example then that if somebody is a teacher and is working in Cape Town and retires and gets his or her pension money at 4 million rands, while he's in Cape Town, he is a millionaire, he's got 4 million rands in his account. Once he moves to his rural home and builds himself a house with these 4 million rands, he immediately has no security. He immediately is shown his balance sheet to be zero. But yesterday, he was 4 million rands worth in Cape Town, and tomorrow, now he's in Glendane. He is zero in his balance sheet simply because the house he has built has become without a number now, simply because the banks do not recognize that, because he has no security of tenure. This is the clearest example to show that the madness in the system requires a lot of creativity and innovation by big business, by financial institutions, by government, by everyone. But we not seem to be wanting to force this matter because it has got to be done. It can't be. It's terrible. And so it means that the cash flows into these rural areas do not happen because investment money is not going that way. In their case, it's only cash flow out. The money comes, it goes out to East London, to Durban, to wherever, because once it's sitting here, most of the things are not recognized. It's very complicated.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for your time and your reflections on this very important topic. That's Ms. Gloria Serobe, the CEO of Wiphold.